me know whether. Okay, I think we are on.
That's we're live. We're live.
We are live. We are live. Okay, right. So, right. So, hello, friends. Thank you for tuning into 1 Minute Motivation and our goal and the mission behind 1 Minute Motivation team to introduce people to you and their ideas and experience learnings that will practically help you on achieving your dreams and goals. Those who don't know me, my name is Asi, and I am the co-founder of 1 Minute Motivation Community. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a very, very special person, a dear friend. I was so fortunate to be part of his team 2 years back when we were volunteered crew members for Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within program. And he's an amazing, inspirational, practical leader. Colm, and Colm is from Ireland. Trust me, you are going to love his accent. And he's a life coach, singer, and a songwriter. In late 2019, Colm traveled to the USA to perform to an American audience, and he did that to search inspiration for his forthcoming album. Amazing individual, and I'm beyond excited to have Colm on my show and looking what you have done, Colm, and that is very much aligning with 1 Minute Motivation mission, which is helping people. Let me officially welcome you and thank you so much, Colm, for accepting my invitation. Friends, before we dive deeply, let me walk you through what you are going to receive from Colm. I'm also going to be a student today. So many of us, including myself, having this challenge. Everybody wants to be successful, pursue goals, pursue dreams, live the life to the fullest, and all that. But in the process, we lose motivation, we lose interest. And if you go back and revise your New Year resolution, and you have the answer. And for me, I wanted to overcome that. And I'm sure you are having the same ideology or the thinking. So Colm, my friend, will share his knowledge and experience how to take the remote control back to our hand. And I guarantee you, this coming 30 minutes, this 30-minute screen time you are investing, it's not going to be waste. And do ask questions, write it down on the comment section. And thank you so much for trusting us. And so please help me in welcoming Colm. So over to you, Colm.
Thank you very much, Asi. It's great to be here. And hello, everybody. My name's Colm McIntyre, and how's it going from Ireland? So the thing that I'm here to talk about today is really how to get things that are inside you, inside your soul, inside your mind, out into the material world, out into the physical world. And what I'd like to say first is, that everything around you that you see, everything you use every day, if you have a car, if you have a house, if you sit in a chair, if you use a cup, all started as an idea in somebody's head. All of them, everything you use every day for the benefit of your life started as an idea. And me and Asi were discussing this earlier. I'm speaking to you now through a computer with headphones. And these, again, all started as an idea in somebody's head. And so that person had at one point a thought, and that thought might be, I want to create something that can connect people through different parts of the world on a computer. Now, if that person hadn't have done that, we wouldn't be sitting having this conversation right now. I wouldn't be able to present this information to you. So I want you to keep that in mind as we move forward, because maybe you have an idea in your life that would benefit you, that you need to get from inside you out onto the page, out into manifesting it out into the real world. And so I'd like to take you back to when you were younger, to when you were a little child, to the day that you were born. All of us, when we were born, were given a body. We're given, if we're lucky, we're given eyes, a nose, ears, a mouth, and a heart. And we don't, if we're lucky to have them, if we're born with that, we don't have to work for it. We're given it. It's a gift. You don't have to do anything. You're just born with these things. But you're also born with imagination. And remember, when you're younger and you have imagination, everyone played make-believe. They literally made their world. They created their world out of their head. You know, if you played the hero, like the superhero with the cape on or whatever, or you wanted to be the princess, if you're a girl, you used to make believe in your head, and you're given this imagination, and you don't have to work for it. It's just there. But something happens as we get older. Something as we get older says that, okay, that playtime is over. It's time to live in the real world. And yet we lose this idea that we can create, and the creation is actually a good thing. And it's important for us because we are all born with the power to create. And it's so important that we keep that power. You know, it's like it's almost like your birthright. So when you're living your life, just remember that if you don't create your life, you'll live in somebody else's creation. You'll live in somebody else who created their world, and maybe you'll go work for their company. Maybe you'll join their fitness programs. Maybe you'll read their books. Maybe you'll watch their movies. But they created those. But you have that power as well. It just depends how much you want it and what you want and how important it is to you. Does that make sense, Asi?
Perfectly. I actually have a question, Colm. So you said something really, really interesting about imaginations. I can recall like when we were kids and I had a vast imagination, and I can relate. My daughter is like when we play, she has an amazing imagination. So why do you think that we lose that imagination when we grow? Is it because of the culture? Is it because of the people that we are mingling with? What is your opinion on that area?
Well, it could be different for everybody, but for me, when you go to school and you start to learn in formal education, everything has its time. So you learn to read, you learn to write, you learn math, you learn science, and then you have playtime. When you're young, you have lots of playtime, but then you have to start to learn about the fundamentals of the real world, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think as we get older, we naturally start to lose some of that creativity unless you work in a creative industry, such as art, or as I do with music. We're encouraged to be creative because that's what we do. But there's room for creativity in every industry out there. In fact, innovation of a new product or service that you like, not just a creation, not out of someone's imagination. What do you think?
Thank you, Colm. That answered my question, though.
Yeah. So I think, it's good then from there to like moving forward from that. It's really important then to figure out what you want from your life, because as we get older, we fall into this idea that, well, to be successful, I should do this, and to be successful, I should do that, or maybe I want to earn a lot of money. Maybe it's to get married and have children. I'll be happy when I do that. I'll be happy when I make the money. I'll be happy when I have the car. I'll be happy when I take the trip and I travel to a different country. But the truth is that I know lots of people. I have done things like that in my life. I know lots of people that have done it, but they're not truly happy. They go, it fulfilled them for a time, and then they go, okay, well, what's next? What's next and what's next? And so if these things don't make us happy, then what does? Then what about those things do? It's progress. It's the progress of doing those things, where you have to go to where you come from to where you have to be, that makes you happy, that fulfills you in that sense. Because in order to get from where you are now to achieving your goal, you have to become a different person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, Colm, when you said about asking the right question, so how do we know? Now, for an example, I studied agriculture. Now I'm in IT industry, but my passion is helping people. Right. So how do we know to answer or rather ask the right question?
Do you mean in terms of setting a goal or being
Yeah,
fulfilled
probably.
with your life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of checkpoints I would always say when you're setting a goal. Is the goal good for you? Is it good for you? Is it good for others? And is it good for the world? Because think about it like this: if you have a goal and your goal is to be like the #1 drug dealer in the country, and you want to make that be a drug, and you want to deal drugs, and that's your goal, well, yeah, you might achieve it, but is it going to be good for you? Maybe. You might be always looking over your shoulder. Is it going to be good for others? Probably not. And is it going to be good for the world? I don't think so. So if your goal, it has to be good for you. It has to resonate with you. It has to be part of already who you are as a person, because we can sometimes look at other people's goals and say, that's what I want. And then, so I want that, but you get it and you go, okay, that wasn't really for me. And that's been true in my life. And I don't know about you, but sometimes you can get influenced by other people and you think, oh, I want that for my life. And you go to get it and you get there and you say, well, actually, that might not have been the right step for me. So it's important to be truthful with yourself. The truth will set you free in that sense. You have to be truthful with yourself. Is it good for you? Is it good for others? And is it good for the world? Ask yourself that before you go for any goal.
So what you mean by say when you say that goal should good for me? So do you mean that I have to evaluate my goals individually, and is it okay if I share those goals with my mentors, my leaders, my circle, and ask them to help me in order to identify my goal? Or are you proposing me to sit with myself and jot it down, write it down, and if this is good, I'm going to go ahead with this?
Well, it's important. Everybody has a thing inside them that they want. Everyone has something that they want from life. Maybe it's to be fitter. Maybe it's to lose weight. Maybe it is a new car. Maybe it is a trip away. Maybe it's to get married. Maybe it's to have children. Maybe it's to have all of those things. That's fine to have. And it's fine. It's perfectly okay to have goals. But yes, the first stage of setting goals is to sit with yourself and really think about what you want from your life. Because again, like I said, if you don't figure out what you want from your life, somebody else will figure it out for you and they'll tell you. Isn't that true of what the world at the minute? People are telling you through advertising, you want this, you want that, but do you really? You've got to figure out what you want from your life. So I want to just share with you something that I think is very profound. I hope that answers your question, but I just want to go back to something I was saying there. The importance of goal setting is not in the goal itself. And if you're watching this right now, make a note of that. It's not the goal that's important. It's the person that you have to become to get the goal. It's a Tony Robbins quote, but it's so true. I want you to think about it like this. Can you see this board here? I want you to imagine that this is you, okay? And that this is your goal. So you're here, and this is your journey to get to the goal. So you're here right now. This is where you want to be. This is the important part. Because that's the part that changes you. That's the part that makes you better, the journey, not the goal. Because the goal, once you get the goal, you have to become a different person in order to get it, to achieve that goal. So if you take, for instance, if I'm a musician and I want to write an album, let's just say I want to write an album of songs and I have never done it before. If I start off here and I want to get to there, this journey will make me a better musician, not this. That doesn't make me a better musician. It's coming from here and going to there that makes me better as a musician, because I have to practice, I have to write songs, I have to network with people. All the things that I have to do in order to get the goal is the important part, not the goal itself. It's the progress that will make you better.
So, Colm, I mean, that's a beautiful, valid point. I mean, what you mean is like it's not the goal is actually important, but it's the process, what you do, and the person that you're becoming when you wanted to achieve your goal. That is what you're highlighting. Let me ask this question from you. Okay, this is a very, very personal question. Few years back, I had a goal, but in the process, I lost myself achieving that goal, and I couldn't sustain the motivation. I couldn't, I saw myself as a failure because that process didn't allow me to reach what I wanted. So in a point like that, what is the advice that you're giving, or rather, what is the opinion that you're sharing to maintain the motivation and to reach that goal in a situation like that?
Okay, so two things with that. If you have a goal that you're looking to achieve and you're not achieving it, there's a few things that you can do. One is figure out why you want the goal, because why you want the goal is more important than the goal itself. And that's what's going to keep you motivated. If you imagine like driving a car, the reason why is the fuel. That's the fuel for the car. So it won't drive if you don't have enough fuel, or if the fuel is the wrong fuel. You have to have the correct reasons why you want it. Now, sometimes you might not achieve the goal initially, and because the goal might be very, very big. It might be a huge goal from where you are now, and you have to jump from where you are to where you want to be. But sometimes you need to take it in steps. So then my second point is this: have a good reason why you want to do it. It has to be your reason, not somebody else's. It has to be emotional, and it has to be real for you. What's getting this goal going to do for you? What is it going to help you achieve in your life? And what's going to happen if you don't get it? That's the first thing. The second thing is work with a coach. So myself, at my certain way, that's what I do with people. I coach them with their goals, and I help them figure out the reason why and their vision and their plans and their goals. So if you find that you're trying to achieve a goal, you might not have a strong enough reason why, you might not have a proper plan, or you might not have the right coach, or you might not have a coach at all, which is fine. But just know that these things can lead to us not achieving our goals the way we want to.
Right, thank you. I mean, I really like the fact that you suggested have a coach. So is it like a mentor, or to have number of people who's helping you, or one designated person?
Well, the difference between a mentor and a coach is you would go to a mentor in order for advice in your chosen industry. So someone that can advise you who's been through it before, but they may not necessarily be able to coach you. They may have their own things going on. A coach is more somebody that is there to literally help you with your plan and help you along with every stage of it, because you have to chunk things down. You know, if you think about all the phone numbers in the world that you know, generally, how do people remember a phone number? For me, it's usually in threes, right? So you say three numbers and then you stop, and then it's three numbers and then stop. Is that true of you, Asset?
Exactly, true.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
So you have to chunk your goals in the same way. You have to chunk down, usually in threes. Maybe it's four for you, but you have to chunk them. You can't just go, I want to make $1 million. If you have a financial goal and you want to say, I want to make $1 million, but you've never made $10,000, that's a really big goal. Now you might do it. I'm not saying, who am I to say that you can't do it, but it's going to be very difficult. You have to plan it, and you have to get there in stages. And what a coach does is help you along the way, whereas a mentor is someone that has done it before that can advise you. That's the difference.
Okay, so what you mean is it's okay to have a mentor while you are getting some support from a coach. All right, so this can be a very controversial question, but there are coaches who actually, they are, and you have to pay to get that support, or rather get that assistance. So many of us, including myself, I have the tendency, okay, why I have to pay another person to get myself trained or coach? So people like me will always think, if I don't get a benefit out of it, financial benefit investing, whether it's if I don't see a return immediately, why would I invest on a coach? So what would be the answer you can give?
It really depends what you want the coach for. It's like you should always think about it in terms of your goals. You might not need a coach. Not everybody has them, and they still achieve their goals. My point is, if you're lacking motivation or you're finding things aren't working for you, 1 or 2 sessions with a coach could benefit you. It doesn't have to be. This is your life. You do whatever you want with your life. But if you want to get there quicker, this could help. And it has been true in my life. I mean, here's a good example. Have you ever been to the gym and used a personal trainer? Yeah? Have you ever? Right, okay. So I've been going to the gym for like 5 years. Now, it's just something I like to do. It's not for everybody, but I like to go to the gym. It's for me. But I was going for like 4 years and I never saw any results because I was working hard, but I was able to just put it off and put it off. And then I hired a personal trainer. And so within like 8 months, I had achieved more than I had the previous 4 years because I had someone to keep me accountable and to hold me to that standard. So it's the same with a coach. It's like, well, if that's what you want, they'll figure out help you figure out your standard and push you forward in that. And you will see results as long as you do the work, because a coach can only help you if you're willing to do it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, you answered that beautifully. Meaning like you need to have a person, can be a coach or someone who is accountable for your success. So that's what you're meaning, right?
Yeah, I mean, and not everyone uses a coach. This isn't like you don't have to have one. I'm just saying that there are benefits to having one. And one of the benefits are someone to hold you accountable. Because let's be honest, if you're honest with yourself, if you truly had do you truly have everything in your life the way that you want it and you have no goals? No, nobody does. Nobody has, because everybody wants stuff. And it's okay to want things from your life. That's perfectly acceptable to want things. But do you have them? Does everybody have them? No. So what makes the difference between somebody that has all the things in their life compared to someone that doesn't have all the things in life? Well, surely the only difference is that one person does something about it and the other one doesn't. It is that simple. And I don't mean to be harsh on anybody that maybe isn't where they want to be. Look, we've all been there. I haven't been where I wanted to be. And, I still have a long way to go to where I want to be, but that's life. But I'm saying that you can do something about it. And by getting these things out of your head and putting them out there into the world and speaking it and saying, this is what I want for my life, that's okay. It's perfectly acceptable to want that. You're human and you're allowed. It's your right. Like we went back to talk about earlier, you're a creator. You can create anything you want because you can visualize it up here. And if you can visualize it and you can speak it, then you can create it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. So I just want to go over then a few things then. Can I move on to something just because I am conscious of the time? So I have a few things for fundamentals for setting goals, for actually setting them. So if you don't want to work with a coach, that's fine. Here's a few tips for you that if you want to set goals. This is what I do, and it's helped me in so many areas of my life. Sit down and think to yourself, first of all, what do I want? Like sit down and think about, if it's say you want to lose weight or say you want to work on your health, think about what it is and picture it. Visualize what that is. What does it look like for you? Do you know someone that looks like you want to already? Think about it. Visualize it. Be specific about it. Don't just say, I want to lose weight or I want to gain muscle. Be specific. How much weight do you want to lose? Like all together, and picture it. How much muscle do I want? I mean, you might not be able to go pound for pound, but generally, what body type do I want? Think about it. Be specific. State it in the positive. Very important. State it as what you want rather than what you don't want. So don't say as your goal, I don't want to be fat. If that's your goal, don't say I don't want to be skinny. I don't want to look weak. don't say those things. State it in the positive. I want to be healthy. I want to be thinner. I want to be stronger. State it in the positive, never in the negative. Okay? So after you've done that in your head, write it down. Get a pen and a piece of paper and write your goal down. What do you want specifically, and state it in the positive. Write it down, okay? Then if you want to, and this is good if you're a visual person, go online, get a picture of it and print it off or put it as the background on your phone or on your computer so that you're looking at it every day. If you can't do that, take the piece of paper, like a little one like this, if you write down your goal and put it somewhere that you'll look at it every day. I recommend putting it beside where you sleep. So on the wall. It's great. It's a great idea. And then we've spoken about this already, but that's the first stage. The second stage is get a plan. Create a plan to get it. So you need to speak to somebody about that. So maybe you do need to see a personal trainer if we go with the health example, or maybe you need to speak to a doctor before you go to the gym. But if we're going to use that health example again, but go and speak to somebody, then create a plan to get it. And the last thing I want to mention, have a reason why. This is the thing that's going to keep you motivated to get you up out of bed in the morning to want to get this goal. It's the only thing that's going to keep you motivated. It's more important to have a good reason why than to have a goal. Because I see the reason why you do things in your life is because you have a reason. See the reason you don't do things in your life is because you have a reason why. So, can I ask you a question? Do you smoke cigarettes?
No, I don't.
Okay. Why?
It's a blueprint that I have developed when I was a kid. So I have a very, very bad experience, which I don't want to share it right now.
It's
so
okay.
because of that reason, I made a commitment to myself, no more cigarettes.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to illustrate by saying that is that the reason why you don't do that is because you have a reason why. Can I ask you another question? So you set up this 1 minute motivation page. Did you have a good reason? Did you have a good reason why?
I was a person who needed help. So I created this platform to help people. That way I can help myself. That's the reason I started this.
So there's two things that we spoke about that Asi does. He doesn't smoke cigarettes because he had a bad experience and he has an internal reason why he doesn't do that. He doesn't do it because he has a reason why. The reason he does this page and things like this is because he has a positive reason why to do it. And that gets him up in the morning. And so all your behavior, everything out there is because you have a reason either to do it or to not do it. It's obviously way more complex than that, but that's a very simplified version of it. So with your goals, you have to have a really strong reason why, because that's what's going to keep you committed and to see it through to the end. I hope that helps.
That's amazing. I mean, with a very short span of time, Colm, you have managed to deliver so much value.
Okay, you're very welcome. I don't have very much else to say about that, except that if you do have, is there any questions? Asi, has anyone asked any questions?
Well, friends, you can actually ask questions. You can write it down on the comments section, and even offline, I can assist you to connect with Colm if you really wanted to get yourself supported, to have a different perspective about your goals and motivation. So that support we can give it to you. It's just a matter of reaching out. We are here to help you out.
Okay, great. Well, if there are no questions, then if you do wish to get in contact with me, you can message me on My Certain Way on Facebook, and I'll be happy to help you out in any way shape, or form. I hope that this has delivered some sort of value to you all. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me speak. I hope you understood me with my accent.
Yes, yes.
And thank you, Darcy.
Thank you so much, Colm. This is incredible, and thank you so much, Colm, for sharing. And I think this interview inspired me and inspired many viewers as well. And with this intake, friends, you can go out and do things to change your life, change your goals. And when you're doing that, be honest and be humble and understand you can fix anything. I repeat, you can fix anything what you are going through. So just a matter of reaching out to the friends, and they are willing to help you and support you. Until next time, my friends, stay bright and stay magnificent and be blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless. Bye. Thank you.